Handling conflicts with other extension in the Advanced Cloud Security app. Hey, I'm Eric, and sometimes you may run into what we in the ACS camp call a problem field. And what is a problem field? Well, a problem field is a field where let's say you're trying to hide it, but some other app might also try to hide it or try to show it. So we have two extensions that are fighting over the same field. And we call that a problem field, but we have a way to handle that. And let me show you how that works. So here is my Business Central, and I have created a extra security feature called a chart of account, and I have selected the net change field. So net change is a problem field because if we go to the general ledger setup and we find, and you need to click show more to this, we have a field down here called show amounts, and this one kind of controls whether you see net change values or you see debit credit values in standard. So this is the base app. This is from Microsoft. So this thing is kind of controlling what should be seen, and we need to kind of take over that and steal it from it. So the way we do this is that we create this security feature here. And then if we go to setup, we can see we actually have a menu item called handle problem fields. If we look at this now, we can see that there's a bunch of fields here on all sorts of pages, and all these fields, so the analysis that is running when you're first starting ACS is kind of actually generating this thing. And we can see that here on page 16, which is the chart of account, there's a feature called amount visible that is handling visible. So a normal field you can see would have true, meaning that it's just visible, or false, it's not visible. But if somebody else is controlling them, then we'll have the name of who or what is controlling them. What we don't know is whether the default value of this is to be shown or hidden. So when we take over control, and as soon as you add a field to a security feature, we will set this guy to use visible, meaning that we don't know what the default is for the field without security applied to it, but we will assume that it's visible. But we could set it to hidden, meaning that users without any security features added will not see the field as default. But we have set it to use visible here, so that would be the default value. But let me show you, if I go to the chart of accounts. No, actually, before that, I really need to add that thing to myself. Otherwise, this demo will really fail. So here is the chart of account. It's added to me now. So if I go to the chart of account, I have the net change column here. But let's go back and let's go in, and now we will create a new extension because we added a new security feature, and we have a setting that needs us to regenerate the security extension. So it will do that. It will run through all the security features we have and figure out where do we need to apply security and build the security wrapper for that purpose. And we can see now chart of accounts are suddenly part of this. So all pages where the net change field is used will now get a security setup. And this will just take a second or two more, and then I think it's deploying. Come on, BC, CRM, we're getting close. We're getting very close. You might run into situations where multiple apps are fighting for the same field, and that means that you could end up in a situation where it's just not possible, even though that we have declared this a problem field, we have declared a solution. We're still not able to actually make it work. There are some hidden tricks, and that would require you to, get hold of eFocus, and we will work with you. But it is a free-for-all fight for fields, for control from all the extensions you have. So there is a slight risk that some things cannot be controlled, but I think that most of the cases we have encountered, we always have found a solution for it. Anyway, as you can see, that we just, every time we deploy, we get a new version number of the security wrapper, and it's deploying right now. It says in progress. So as soon as this one is done, and I'm hitting F5 repeatedly, you cannot see that, but it's actually updating the screen. But since nothing is changing, well, nothing is changing on the screen. But in a second or two, this will, there we go. Now it's completed. So let's go back to the chart of accounts. And we can see that the net change filters briefly showed because Microsoft are caching information on what fields on what pages, and then it figures out that it's no longer valid, and then it's removed. So that is how we deal with problem fields. That's the solution for dealing with them. And you might run into them because they typically, those are, high value fields that a lot of functionality is around, and if somebody else is turning it on and off, by applying security, you might end up breaking other things. To be honest, if you have a field that is only supposed to be visible or editable in a very specific scenario, if you take over control of that property of the field, then you might get into trouble. Anyway, contact us if this is something that you need help with. We are here to help, and ACS can certainly handle 99% of all the cases with problem fields also. Check out some of the other videos on the Advanced Cloud Security. Bye.